And I wouldn't normally give that to anybody.
No, it's even got your name on it, Phillip.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're taking a deep dive into This Morning. Why is it so scandalous? What happened to Phillip and Holly? And should ITV cut its losses and cancel the show completely?
Please know that we would never jump a queue.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Originally fronted by TV legends Richard and Judy, This Morning is an institution of British television.
My name is Richard Madeley, and this is my wife, Judy Finnegan.
Hello.
Frequently winning awards and making ITV a true broadcasting titan, This Morning has long been beloved by housewives, the unemployed, and people off sick from school, basically anybody who's regularly at home watching TV at 10 o'clock in the morning. But in the 2010s, This Morning came to an increased relevance thanks to many of its bizarre moments going viral online.
It's a bit like making love to a car GPS, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
It earned a reputation for outrageous interviews, speaking to people like Chelsea Charms, the woman with the world's largest breasts, Samantha the talking sex robot, flat earthers, sex addicts, scam victims, and more.
Oh, so Brooklyn or London.
Your child's called India.
Yes, but that's because it's not.
With Holly Willoughby joining Phillip Schofield as a main presenter in 2009, the show continued producing viral moments, from Your Child's Called India to Gino D'Acampo cooking in the nude.
Technically, although you are naked, you're not quite naked enough.
It also tried to raise awareness for serious issues, showing people getting their intimate areas checked for signs of cancer on live telly, as well as featuring consumer rights segments and cooking spots to show viewers new recipes. It was classic magazine show fare and peaked in popularity after Holly and Phillip turned up to present the show upon winning an NTA in their glad rags from the night before, and still, clearly, drunk.
Okay, so obviously you might have noticed we're still wearing the same clothes. I haven't been home yet.
But where did things start to go wrong for This Morning? And why does the British public, or at least the tabloids, seem so concerned with what happens in the studio?
Do I miss presenting This Morning? No. I did 10 years, and 10 years was great.
Years ago, rumours began to swirl about Phillip Schofield being notoriously difficult to work with, something that's since been corroborated by many people working in the industry.
Been missing for 3 months on this show. First of all, you took away the picture from the corridor. There is no picture of Gino on the corridor.
The minute I turn my back, I'm off the wall.
Amanda Holden and former main presenter Fern Britton are among those said to have beef with Schofield, who supposedly always wanted to be the centre of attention.
I think I went at the right moment in the party.
They're both too professional and diplomatic to say too much publicly about these alleged feuds, though supposedly Schofield gave Britton cruel nicknames, and Holden made a few cryptic social media posts following Schofield's downfall.
You were here just 3 weeks ago talking about stepping out.
Oh yeah, no, that was about 8 weeks ago. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
In 2020, longtime hosts Eamon Holmes and Ruth Langsford were also dropped as regular presenters, with ITV saying that viewers just didn't relate to the married couple anymore after 14 years of fronting the Friday show and serving as relief presenters.
Quality that I would be looking at more than anything else in a partner is someone who's nice.
But Holmes has been adamant that he was dropped for not going along with ITV's woke agenda after he said on air that we shouldn't dismiss claims that 5G might cause COVID-19 before the research was in.
But what I don't accept is mainstream media immediately slapping that down as not true when they don't know it's not true.
This was seen as Holmes parroting dangerous conspiracy theories and is believed to be the real reason he completely left ITV, going to present GB News' breakfast show.
Every day is fakery and, sometimes you can only judge people by their act.
Ruth stayed on at the network and is still a staple on Loose Women, but in 2024, the couple announced their divorce.
You've been very open and honest with Steph all the way through this.
Yeah, I have no secrets. We've never had any secrets.
Behind the scenes, more rumours began to swirl about Schofield. These concerned a young man he'd allegedly been having a relationship with, which seemed to be an open secret. The tabloids also had knowledge of the affair, and this is supposedly what pushed him to announce his coming out, also in 2020, but before Eamon and Ruth left.
And I thought, how come he can sit in a hot tub with Holly Willoughby and Steph doesn't have a problem and Dan doesn't have a problem?
Holmes has spoken out about this as well, saying he wasn't sure why it was such a big event or why Schofield had so much fuss made over him. In 2022, This Morning found itself embroiled in its biggest scandal yet when the tabloids began reporting about Q-Gate.
So a lot of people saying that you were unfairly targeted. Is that something you'd agree with?
I think we were.
I guess the problem was that you were never accredited or...
We were.
Following the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in September, Holly and Phillip were sent to the Queen's lying-in state and were photographed supposedly skipping the queue. When A-listers like David Beckham and Tilda Swinton queued for as long as 13 hours to pay their respects, not to mention fellow ITV stalwart Susanna Reid, the pictures of Willoughby and Schofield cutting in line caused outrage.
The rules were that we would be quickly escorted around the edges to a platform at the back. In contrast, those paying respects walked along a carpeted area beside the coffin.
ITV soon explained that they were part of a separate queue for press and were filming a segment, and that nobody else missed out on visiting Her Majesty because of them. But the scandal stuck, and stories of a rift between Schofield and Willoughby began to grow.
None of the broadcasters and journalists there took anyone's place in the queue, and no one filed past the Queen.
This Morning was under a microscope from this point on, with even minor slip-ups appearing in the tabloids.
Everyone was Team Phillip and Holly.
Everything changed 6 months later when, in May 2023, Schofield penned a piece in The Sun, announcing that all those stories about his illicit affair were true. It's believed he did this because The Sun offered an ultimatum, saying that they'd publish all the details if he didn't do it himself. But Schofield became the #1 news story for weeks.
He says he lied to his employer, his colleagues and his friends, but he described getting involved with that younger man as unwise but not illegal. You remember he left This Morning last week.
It turned out that he'd been having an affair with a significantly younger male runner after getting him a job on This Morning. Schofield met this man when he was only 15, though maintains that nothing happened between them until he was 20, after he'd started working on the show.
But he is the chief narcissist. He is a complete and utter dyed-in-the-wool narcissist.
According to Eamon Holmes and other people who worked on This Morning, the runner and Schofield were at some points joined at the hip, though he was eventually shuffled away from This Morning and onto Loose Women. This was all after Schofield personally got him his start in the industry.
In a statement, Mr. Schofield said he had lied about the relationship to ITV as well as his agents, lawyers and family.
Simultaneously, Schofield's brother Timothy was found guilty of sex offences against a teenage boy. Schofield has said that he completely cut off contact with his brother after this, as did the rest of the family, but then departed TV presenting soon after.
Now, we can't start today's show without paying tribute to the man who spent the last 2 decades sitting on the This Morning sofa, Phillip Schofield.
This was initially described as a resignation, though Schofield himself has since alleged that he was let go and ITV wanted a different narrative.
When the rumour got bigger, then we were both asked.
Schofield left This Morning and Dancing on Ice and disappeared from public life for a while, though he did resurface to do a tell-all BBC interview shortly after the scandal.
Right, deep breath. Firstly, are you okay?
This Morning carried on for a while with Holly Willoughby joined on the sofa by Alison Hammond and Josie Gibson, with Schofield rarely being mentioned after Willoughby's now infamous address to the nation, in which she lambasted him for being a liar.
You, me and all of us at This Morning gave our love and support to someone who was not telling the truth.
But the saga continued 5 months on, in October, when a man was shockingly arrested for plotting to kidnap, assault and murder Holly Willoughby. The man, Gavin Plum, was arrested on the 4th of October after trying to pay somebody to come to the UK from America and carry out his sick plan.
Holly is on the front pages this morning after police arrested a 36-year-old man over an alleged kidnap plot.
Unfortunately for Plum, the man he'd paid was an undercover police officer. The following day, Willoughby and her family were taken into protective custody, and she immediately resigned from This Morning and all other television roles.
Last night, Holly made what we know will have been a heartbreaking decision to leave This Morning after 14 years.
The trial revealed that Plum was one of many online Willoughby obsessives, regularly discussing her on internet forums and encrypted group chats, and posted videos and voice messages describing his plan.
He had thousands of pictures of Miss Willoughby. The prosecutor said he was going to abduct her at the home she shared with her husband.
He also filmed disturbing videos of the restraint kit he'd built for her, full of rope, handcuffs, and other things. In July 2024, Plum was ultimately found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment, and it wasn't the first time he'd been found guilty of similar charges. Willoughby isn't set to return to screens until 2025, and the trial revealed that the entire case has been deeply and understandably traumatic for her. Following the departures of both Schofield and Willoughby, ITV struggled to find permanent replacements.
And then, if you want to, you could add a little teaspoon of baking powder. But I've actually forgotten that before, and it really didn't make a difference, so...
Though it looked as if popular presenters like Alison Hammond and Rochelle Humes could take over, eventually the roles went to Good Morning Britain's Ben Shepherd and Kat Deely. They've proven much less popular with viewers though, with ratings dwindling for months and constant rumours that Deely is soon to depart too. But the story still isn't over, as in October 2024, Schofield's return to television was announced.
I've been cast away on a desert island. It's my chance to tell my side of my story.
He was going to star in Castaway on Channel 5, going to a remote island off the coast of Madagascar for 10 days and having to survive completely alone while filming himself.
I know what I did was unwise, but is it enough to absolutely destroy someone?
Castaway wasn't the grand return Schofield thought it would be though, with most viewers finding it a boring exercise in narcissism. Schofield passed all blame for his departure from ITV onto his brother, claiming that he was dropped because of things somebody else did and not for his affair.
At the moment, it's just given me more anguish.
On the affair, he also claimed that if it had been a much younger woman and not a man, he'd have been given a pat on the back and would never have been let go.
Got a bit of a shock. Right. I'm afraid you've been let go from This Morning.
This is categorically untrue, as any kind of relationship like this has deeply unequal power dynamics and is inappropriate regardless of gender. He also said that he would never work for ITV again, and alluded to Holly Willoughby stabbing him in the back.
So how old was he when he first said to you, I'm interested in television? Was he 18 by that point?
19 then, I would think.
While he was doing this, the man he had the affair with is now working in a pub in the middle of nowhere, despite an alleged £600,000 payout from Schofield to keep his mouth shut about the whole thing, with his television career completely ruined.
And did you ever tell Holly Willoughby?
No, God no. That's a bigger question.
Meanwhile, Schofield claims his career is over, all whilst appearing in 3 hours of primetime Channel 5 reality television. Once the golden child of daytime TV, This Morning is in a slump with seemingly no way out. Do you think its days are numbered? And what should replace it in the 10 AM slot? Let us know in the comments.
How much are you supposed to take?
And that was our deep dive into ITV's most controversial magazine show.
But what was happened is that everything at ITV was geared towards making Phillip and Holly happy.
Yeah.
So no one else counted. Okay. No one else counted.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.